Hey everyone, welcome to another class, the Cherry Top Crafts. I'm Rachel,
And I'm Jessica.
and today we are going to be doing a spring watercolor painting.
We will be painting these little trees. You can paint in whatever size. I painted this about a 6x8.
And this is a 9x12 because I have a harder time painting smaller.
Yeah.
So I kept mine larger. But you can do whatever size you want, whatever paper you have on hand. This is the Strathmore just 9x12 watercolor pad. It is cold press and 140 pounds.
Yeah, it's a good watercolor paper. It really lets the watercolor sit on top of the page, and so you can have more working time with it.
Yeah. So
we'll be using a range of different watercolors. We have the Alta New watercolor set.
And some Prima Confection watercolors. Yeah. Complexion and Woodlands. And we're probably going to use all three.
Yeah.
Just kind of mix.
It's nice to have a little bit of a range so you can get the colors you really like.
And then you want a couple different brushes, like a bigger one, maybe one or two smaller ones. Definitely one like this size. What size is this?
I don't know, thin.
Thin. Don't know the size of our brushes.
For our trees, that will be helpful for getting the smaller,
the branches
stickies.
And yeah.
All that.
And then we're going to be doing a different technique. Oh, we've probably done this before, but maybe not in video. But you take some kind of plastic, either saran wrap or cling wrap or wax paper.
This is
anything you can find. What is this? This is like a.
I found this in our trash.
Go take through your trash.
If you got some products from us, it probably came in some plastic. Use that.
It needs to be able to scrunch it up. Yep. Okay, so we're gonna be like, it's called like a scrunching technique. Scrunch and dab. Scrunch and bunch. I don't know.
Sure.
Scrunch and bunch.
So let's get going.
Let's get going with our scrunch and bunch technique. Okay, so
starting with the trunks.
Yeah, the trunks.
So right now is when you decide how many trees do you want.
Yeah.
You just want to do one, start with one, do two. We'll probably go for two again. I like how this one turned out.
I like the different heights. Yeah. I was going to do that, and then my trees just kept growing. So start out smaller. I think I'm going to do three again, but I want my middle one to be taller than my side ones. I don't know, just for something different. Yeah, so when you start out, paper towels also definitely want paper towels.
And also, we taped down our papers.
Oh yeah,
it gives a nice clean border, and it holds your paper down while you're painting.
What was I gonna say? Oh, when you start out, you want to do it very, very light. It's very easy to get dark real fast.
Yeah.
We experienced this.
Yeah. So just if you have a darker pigment, like this brown is really dark, just water it down a bit and then use that to start drawing your trees. You can also draw them with pencil if you're worried about it.
Yeah, so very, very light. You can always add more layers, darken up layer. This is like the scariest part for drawing.
Yeah.
The first trees.
The first, so just kind of start where you want your trunk.
Go. I'm not going all the way down to my bottom either. I'm gonna leave some white space down here. And I'm gonna very lightly kind of draw up my three trees. So I'm starting very basic and doing like 3 lines.
This might be the lightest I've actually started. I keep saying I need to start light.
Go lighter.
But
I
just make them dark. Light. Like dark all at once.
The trees are not straight and perfect.
No.
They need to be wobbly. They need to be crooked. They need to be not perfect. So just great because trees are actually kind of tricky.
Yeah. And to make them look like actual trees, that's kind of the trickier part.
Yeah.
I'd say instead of having all of your branches come off of this one first main one, make some offshoots and then offshoots off of those. Make some Ys and then some smaller Ys. And like anytime we do watercolor, this will be built up with layers.
Lots of layers. So your first layer might look funny,
Yep.
and that's okay. So I'm kind of going into my 3 basic lines now. I'm making some offshoots, trying to keep my side trees smaller, but they're kind of growing already.
Trees grow
They
very
just grow very
easily.
fast.
Yep.
And just kind of, yeah, be free with it. Go with whatever feels natural to you. And then you can start working on making your trunks a little bit thicker. Not too thick though, because it's easier to add to it. It's not as easy to take it away.
Yeah.
Like if you're really quick, you can dab it with some paper towels.
Yeah. So make sure you have some paper towels handy. But especially with a lighter painting like this one, you really want to have it stay clean. Like a lot of our other paintings where we've painted the whole thing, you can see this is a lot more airy.
Yeah, a lot of white space.
So just keep more white space than what you think you need, and you can always add more as you continue.
And if it's too dark, just add more water, plot it out with paper towel. I'm going real, oops, see, some of mine are getting darker. It's very easy to go dark.
Especially when these are really rich colors. Which I'm not complaining about. That's really, it's really nice. These are nice watercolors.
You just have to have like a really light hand to
or water down.
Get it down. Yeah.
Need to keep watering it down.
Okay, I'm building up my trunk. It looks really wonky still. And that's all right.
This painting doesn't come alive until you start adding the colors in the leaves.
The leaves.
That's when the painting comes together more. So if you're at this point and you're like, my tree looks so stupid, just leave it.
Okay.
It'll get better.
Ours does too.
And if you have a really bad spot, just make sure that spot gets covered with
lots of leaves.
Yeah.
And as the tree goes up, your branches are going to get smaller and smaller. So you can always thicken certain parts later, but just always start small. Light. Yeah, this tree is looking real wonky. And I'm just kind of going back down, making it a little bit thicker in areas. You keep pushing the paints over.
No, that doesn't help.
No.
Okay. I'll probably.
Okay. That's just fine.
Okay. I'll try.
How are you pushing
I don't
know. We have too much paint.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Oh well. Okay, let's see. And you can always add more branches later too.
We're just getting in the base so we know what we're adding paint to.
Yeah.
Well, leaves.
Yeah. And you can even do a couple branches that are like not connected so that your leaves can be in between. So I like to do a couple of those. And I try not to get like too branchy. Because if you add too many, I don't know, for me, it just starts to look really weird and unnatural. So
yeah,
start out smaller.
I think that's where people get messed up with making trees, because it's like you look at a tree
and there's
so many. Yes. There's so many branches, and then you try
painting it. You don't want to paint all of them.
Yeah, because it'll just look too cluttery.
I hate clutter. Hate it.
So this is a minimalist tree.
Okay, it's hard to decide, you know, like how many branches? Where do my branches go? Which ones are going to be thicker? Just kind of make it up as you go. That's what we do.
It's also nice if you have a few different shades of brown when you start to draw in your tree a little bit more.
Yep. Okay.
You ready?
I think I'm ready.
For the
I don't know.
Scrunch and bunch and dab. Well, maybe we should dry a little.
Oh yeah, we should dry it.
Yeah. That works.
Or dry it. Another thing about keeping it light is that it dries faster.
Pretty fast.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like yours is already dry.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I'll just do it quick.
Yeah.
This is the Ranger heat gun. You can use whatever you have on hand, blow dryer even.
Or time.
Or time. Just wait a few minutes.
Just wait, and it'll dry.
Fan it with your hand.
Yep. All right.
Okay, so for the scrunch and bunch, first you're gonna take plain water and do you're doing one tree at a time. So pick a color.
Let's see what tree.
Something springy.
What color tree are you starting with?
I'm gonna start with my pink.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a pink
I'll
tree.
go with pink too. And start
And,
watering down.
You're just gonna kind of dab on some water around your tree. Try not to get your branches. I'm just dabbing water. And then I'm gonna go in with my color, whatever color you choose. I want some pink in there. And I'm gonna make puddles of my pink.
Mm-hmm.
Just wherever. Doesn't have to be exact because we're gonna scrunch it.
I liked adding my puddle, my pink puddle, and then just going for it right from there.
And scrunch up your plastic, clench it up, and you're gonna dab it all over your first tree. If it's too wet, get a paper towel and dry it off a little bit. This technique is super easy. It's you know, it's beginner friendly here. And
it allows for,
it looks airy.
Yeah, it leaves a lot more open space than what you would get using your brush.
Yes.
And we're not trying to cover the whole area with paint. Yeah, just a little bit.
Because it looks good with white space.
Yeah.
Then I'm just gonna dab it with paper towel too, just make sure it's not too wet. And you can do this as many times as you feel like you need to. So you can let it dry, do another layer.
Because this is the first layer,
yeah,
I'm going to leave it, let it dry, and then come back to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll go back and forth from my green tree to my pink tree. Yeah, and continue back and forth.
Yep. So that, I'm going to do my tree over here to the right. I'm going to do like a purple color. My other one looked, it's still too pinky. I wanted it more like a bluey purple. So I'm going to add like blue in it too.
Mm.
So again, same technique, just kind of dab on some water.
And where you're placing the paint, kind of think about where the leaves would be.
Mm-hmm.
Like more on the ends of your branches. Leave some open space in the center. Leave some open
Leave
space.
it open. And dab on your color.
I love a good pun.
I love a good pun too. I'm gonna kind of add some blue in here too, a little bit.
And then also, while you have some of the color on your plastic, you can't forget about the grassy
Bottom.
just bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be grass. It can be like your fallen leaves.
Mm-hmm.
But just include a little bit of that down there so your tree isn't floating.
We're being like really aggressive.
Yeah.
What is that sound? Okay. And then, yeah, so I'm just scrunching a bunch. Too.
And I'm going to go back to my pink tree and add a little bit darker pink. I like using a slightly different shade each layer, so you can really pick out the different layers in there. So now this one's a little darker pink. Maybe I'll add that little bit of purple in there. Maybe that was too much.
Yeah, I'm adding some more purple. And it's okay if it goes into your other tree a little bit too. That's fine.
It'd be like pollen floating or just a leaf flying away or a flower. A leaf is leaf. Again. Okay, I'm sorry.
We got so many puns.
I mean, it was
Puns
the same
for
one
days.
pun, but
That's okay.
That's okay.
See, now look, my trees got taller. That's all right.
Yeah. It's hard to keep it
It's
small.
hard. Like, I
It
just
is.
keep going up and up. I'm like, oh, well, I guess they are all the same
Yeah.
size.
Oh,
well.
carry the one tree off the paper.
Mm-hmm. Oh, in the middle tree?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. My middle tree is going to be kind of green with maybe some yellow in it too, kind of brighten it up. And it's good to use more than one shade of a color, whatever one you're doing, like green or purple, whatever, because it gives it more depth.
Whoa.
And it looks more natural.
I slipped. If you slip, get your paper towel a little wet and try to wipe it up.
Mm-hmm.
As quick as you can. That's why using watercolor paper is helpful, because actually the watercolor sits on the top of the surface as it dries rather than just absorbing into it. So you have a little more work time.
Yeah. And I'm just kind of like turning my plastic around, scrunching it again. That way I don't get purple in my green. I'm adding some green to my bottom too.
And some light pink.
And what else? I was going to add like some yellow. These tins are so noisy when we're dabbing. Some yellow. Yellow really brightens it up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to be careful with my little puddles because I don't want them to go too much into my other trees. They'll start looking muddy. But they are drying. I mean, my purple's almost dried.
If your plastic's starting to get a little too painty, just wipe it down.
Yeah.
Whoa. Oh, not a paper towel.
Okay. Dry a little bit. So I'm going to move back over to my pink. So I'm just going back and forth in all my trees. And keep doing the same technique. Just layering it on. With my pink tree, I might want some orange or yellow.
Oh,
well, like
yeah.
yellow, and kind of mix it in a little bit.
Yeah.
That will brighten it up too.
Yeah, I really like what yellow does to the painting.
Yeah.
It just really gives
brightens up
it that
anything.
springy look that we're going for. Well, I have a little yellow on my brush. I'm also going to kind of outline a little bit of this edge. Just very lightly with a little yellow. Oh, and I guess a little pink. Okay, I got the pink up.
I like that yellow with my pink. So springy.
No, we keep doing these springy, it's like super springy paintings and projects. And I'm just like,
well, because if we keep doing them, maybe the weather will follow along.
It will.
If we just keep doing them.
It will. I'm kind of going throughout my painting and adding a little bit of that, like really lightly yellow.
Mm-hmm.
Just so it has that yellowish feel.
Yeah. Scrunch and bunch. I think that's a perfect name for this technique, right?
Scrunch.
I don't know what other people
bunch,
call it.
And dab.
Scrunch, bunch, dab.
Yeah, let us know in the comments if you've tried this technique before.
Yeah.
And what type of plastic do you use? Yeah, and what do you call it?
Plastic technique?
Yeah. Maybe. I guess I've heard just like, what is it? Plastic wrap technique or wax paper with watercolor or something.
Yeah. We just kind of make stuff up as we go.
Yeah.
Like we've seen this technique done like with a lot of different kind of plastics, but I just never know what they're called.
What the full name is, yeah.
Yeah. Going back in with my green. I just find it so relaxing.
Yeah,
I
watercolor
could watercolor all
is
day.
very relaxing. That's one thing that it's always nice about it.
And I feel like it goes faster too with the
Yeah.
plastic.
It definitely does.
know?
We did a couple
Originally,
yeah,
we
we
were
did a
doing
couple paintings
Brushes, yeah.
preparing for this class. And the first one we just used brushes and it took
It
a
was taking
lot
forever.
longer.
We're like, how
And
do
it
we
was
get
like-
our leaves more like fluffy?
Yeah, and not spend
so
forever
blobby.
on the details.
Because they were
Like-
looking real blobby.
Use plastic.
Like, oh, let's just not use brushes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can like swipe it too along the bottom if you got some extra. I'm kind of swiping a little bit of my green. Let's see. And don't be afraid to go over your branches because that's naturally what you would see.
Yeah, you're not gonna see all of your branches, you know. Most of them will be covered by leaves.
Yep.
Not all of them.
Especially if you have like a wonky branch you don't like, just dab it. Cover that up. Yeah, I think I'm gonna bring my green over here a little bit more. But not too much either, because leaving more white space makes it look, I don't know, more natural.
Yeah,
less blobby.
This is a spring painting, and in spring you don't have that full tree yet.
Right.
Whoa, that green went way too far. So yeah, it's a more airy tree.
Airy tree. Okay. Oh, I think I need more yellow with my green. Brighten that up.
Try a little bit of orange. Let's see, a little bit of orange in the pink tree or in the green tree.
You could do both.
Or both trees. Orange kind of acts the same as the yellow.
It's nice, bright.
Nice, yeah, bright and warm color.
I haven't even wiped this off yet.
Yeah.
I just keep scrunching it a different way. And I'm sure half of it's on my hands, but that's okay.
It's okay.
I'm gonna put a tiny bit of water on my bottom. Just kind of swipe it out a little bit. Because my trees still look like they're floating. Can't have floating trees. All right, I'm gonna go back to my pink. So this is basically what you're gonna be doing for a while until you get it how you like it. And then you're gonna go into your branches again. Make those darker. But yeah, add as many layers as you want.
Yeah, keep layering up. You can add your branches in and then come back. Keep going back and forth. I'm going to start working on adding some
your branches.
Yeah, some more definition and a little detail on my brushes. So I like to pick what side I want my shady side to be. I'll usually just stick with my left, so have my left side get a little bit darker.
Left side darker, yeah. So that your sun is coming from the right.
And that's also where I put my yellowish area there. So
I think I tend to do that too. I think I tend to do left. I don't know why. Just my go-to.
Just adding some more on this left side. And I'm not tracing fully the whole thing again. Like my branch here got interrupted by some leaves, and I'm going to keep that and continue my branch maybe up here a little bit. That kind of helps it look more natural too. Or like a lot of this branch got interrupted, so I'm going to leave it and maybe just have a few areas where the branch is poking through.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow, this orange really brightens it up.
Yeah, it's a pretty orange.
I'm even adding a tiny bit to my purple too over here.
I really like
Just for fun.
this alt new for any spring paintings.
Spring, summer, it's just really
like they're really
the perfect
bright
colors.
that we've been using a lot. These Primo ones are really nice too. I know they have some more spring shades too.
Yeah, really any other palettes would work fine.
Yeah. It's nice when you don't have to spend a lot of time mixing the colors.
Yes, takes guesswork out of it.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a beginner. It's just, you don't want to mess with mixing. Especially certain colors like brown. I feel like that's so hard to do to get a nice brown. I'm like, I'd rather just use one already made.
It's also nice when you have different shades of brown you can use. Which I've been mostly just using this one brown. I should mix it up.
Yeah.
Use a different brown pretty soon here.
Yeah, I like this brown. Ooh, that's very dark.
I feel like that's how it happens a lot. Like you find one color you like, and then
you just kind of
use it.
with it.
Yeah.
Well, kind of like when I go to fast food or a restaurant, I tend to order the thing that I like.
Yep. I go pretty
like,
much
I know
to
that I like
the same few restaurants, and
order the same
order the same food.
Yeah. So I'm not even really darkening all my branches, just kind of here and there. And I'm still wet on top too, so I have to be careful.
You want to be
extra
careful.
Yeah.
Extra careful to make sure your browns aren't leaking in with the rest of your colors.
That will look funny.
Yeah.
It won't look natural. It'll just look muddy, like your tree is just expanding. My tree kind of like ended here in the middle. I gotta figure out where to put my branch.
You can see all my branches a lot, maybe too much. Maybe I might go back in and try to blend some out a little bit more.
You can always add more leaves.
Yeah.
Don't like something, just add some leaves.
Yep.
Let's see. Yeah, my first tree didn't eat. I'm gonna put them this way.
Yeah. That works.
That works better. So I don't have a pin going into my trees.
My bad.
Yeah, my branches really disappeared on my pink tree.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
And I don't want all of them back, you know? Kind of just decide as you go.
Pick and choose.
Which ones do you want?
More there as a guide in the beginning.
This one looks funky.
Using this thin brush is really helpful for these little stems. Could even add like a couple little holes in the tree. Maybe I'll do that. This tree looks big enough for
some holes.
Woodpecker hole. Sure. Right there, a woodpecker, or maybe it's a knot.
Yeah. Some knots in there.
We'll call it a woodpecker
Just
hole.
make it look kind of like bumpy. Like it shouldn't look super smooth. Unless you want it that way, I guess. But
some trees are weirdly smooth.
Look a little texture.
Those are kind of cool trees too.
Get some
there's not really a wrong way. Just keep with it.
Keep going.
Keep going.
Keep going till you like it.
Yep. We'll dry it a little bit. Add a few more leaves.
I don't know when to stop.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it branchy enough? Is it not? Is it
Think-
not? We're so funny.
Yeah. I think I'm just going to add a little bit more of dark green, and then I think I'll be done.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it
Oh,
stands
but we
out a
have
little
to
bit.
add splatters too.
Oh, yeah. We were saying the splatters is kind of our
signature.
It's our signature. Like, did we really use watercolor if we didn't splatter on it?
It just adds a nice little something.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes really well with the airy
Yeah.
kind of look.
Just add a little yellow splatter.
Oh, yellow is a good color to do.
Yeah. A little yellow and then maybe a little orange. I'm not adding quite as much as I usually do because the plastic kind of already gives quite a bit of a splattery look.
Right.
But
and you still want that nice white space in there too.
Yeah. And also add a few more splatters to our very splattered table.
Yeah. Don't know if you can see it, but man, this table is splattered. We tried to keep it white for a while, and then
I don't know
we just
what
kind of gave
happened.
up.
I don't know what happened. Well, I don't know.
I think we just gave up.
I feel like we just couldn't help it anymore.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna splatter yellow too. Just a tiny bit.
Maybe I'll give a hint of blue background too.
Looks good. Maybe I'll splatter a little pink too. Why not?
This blue I'm just using very lightly. Whoa, that was not very lightly. Just so it's there a little bit. Whoa! Not doing a good job with that very lightly.
It's hard to go light.
Yeah.
It actually, yeah, it's really hard.
But it's okay, because I can easily blend it out. And then dab up the extra color that I don't need.
And I'm just gonna fix up my bottom a little bit. I still want a lot of white space down here, but I don't want my trees floating either. So I'm just
you can just kind of give like a little bit of a hint of a certain color, or just like a tiny bit. Maybe I'll give my tree like a little bit of shadowy. Because my shadows are all going to the left, I'll make it a little darker towards the left.
I got too much. Paper towels are lifesavers.
Yep. It's a must-have tool while watercoloring.
Okay, I like that. My brown is kind of actually mixing a little bit in with my
Mm.
green, purple, and pink, but I like it. Like it looks natural. And I'm going to bring down my pink a tiny bit. For some reason, my purple is like hanging down. Don't know why. Just gonna get that out just a bit. There we go. All right.
Now for the satisfying part.
Most fun part ever.
Ooh, pulling off and seeing
off
your
that
perfect
tape.
edge.
Which is not always perfect, but
Yeah.
if you don't use too much water, you'll have that nice crisp.
Yeah. If a little soaked in, you can try to dab up as much of the pigment as you can by getting it wet and using a paper towel to dab it up. And then cover it with some white acrylic paint, and nobody will even know.
Except us. We will know. We like to use just like the blue painter's tape.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't
Works
rip the
well.
paper.
Yep. If you pull slowly.
Yeah, pull slowly and at an angle.
Mm-hmm.
You're really fast at pulling. Well, you have a smaller
Half size.
And I'm still a little bit wet here, so I'm gonna dab it so it doesn't.
It's nice if it is completely dry because then you don't have to worry about the paint trailing off into your perfectly white space.
Yeah, so make sure you're dry.
Yeah.
Or at least your edges are dry.
Enough. Yeah.
Ooh, I like it.
Yes.
That was so fun. Quick and easy little spring this, put in a frame, put it in a card. Yours is more card size.
I use this size because
Mm-hmm.
I plan to use it for something you'll have to watch our classes.
A mystery. It looks really good in like a white frame too.
Mm-hmm.
Anything looks good in a white frame. I don't know why. It just looks very
clean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Depends on your look.
Yeah.
What you're going for.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining today. We hope we've inspired you to do a little spring painting.
Test out the bunch and
Scrunch and bunch
and dab technique.
Scrunch and bunch and
it's a good technique. And
plastic
if you don't
technique.
make trees with it, just grab a scrap paper and
you could do
dab
bushes.
along it. Yeah.
You can also do bushes,
Yeah.
flowers.
It worked good for our grass.
Mm-hmm. 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 Really anything nature-y. You can just use plastic.
Scrunch and bunch and dab.
Scrunch it.
Maybe that's
We
too
need
long.
a better name. Let us know of a better name in the comments.
That would be helpful.
All right. Well, thank you for joining. And next week is, I don't know, because my weeks are off now.
We'll let you know.
We'll let you know.
When we finish
Go
the rest
to
of our schedule.
on our website, on our classes, cherrytop.com/classes. You'll see all of our upcoming classes and our past classes. That's the best way to find everything.
Yeah, that's much more reliable than
us. Yeah.
So, yeah, check there.
All right. Bye.
Bye.